Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name's Nate. This is my LS3 swap Nissan 370Z. The car's been running for a little over a year now. It's definitely not perfect. It's got some issues, and in this video, we're gonna address those issues, so let's go. So like I said, this car's been running for a little over a year now, but it still has some issues that I have to address before I take it up to the mountains to the tail of the dragon. And the issues that need to be addressed, an oil leak that I have that I mentioned in the last video. I need to fix my battery ground because my battery ground isn't sufficient enough. There's too much resistance going on in the wire. I've got an exhaust leak that I have to fix. Another thing is that I need to wire my blinkers into my Haltech IC7 dash. And last but not least, I'm gonna simplify my in-tank fuel setup. The setup that I have now is pretty complicated, but that was for good reason. That was an old design. The new design is much more simplified, make it more efficient. And the reason why I wanted to do a video like this is because during my engine swap, I couldn't find a lot of information on it. And this is a real life engine swap done by a random guy. Hopefully there's something in this video that you can take away for whatever you have to work on in the future. All right, so let's get to work. I'd have to pump the fuel out of the tank. Since the battery's currently hooked up, we're gonna go ahead and do that now. That's the only way we can really do this cleanly without getting a bunch of gas everywhere on the interior. The way I'm gonna do that is use this extra line that I have. I'm gonna disconnect the feed line to the engine. I'm gonna hook this up and then pump the gas into a spare gas can that I have laying around. A major benefit to having something like a standalone ECU, in my case, I have a Haltech, is that this process is made even easier because I can activate the fuel pumps directly through the NSP software. Also, for ease of access, I added some USB bulkheads that are connected to the ECU so that connecting my laptop is much easier. I just go to the fuel pump settings, change the active state to low, which basically grounds the circuit and allows the fuel pumps to turn on. Later, I added this function to a CAN keypad so that I could do all of this with the touch of a button. Unfortunately, with everything that needs to be done, almost all of the interior needs to come out. I have some wiring to do under the dash, I have to run a new ground cable to the battery, and working in the fuel tank is going to require that most of it is removed.
Oh, it's a leaf. Found a leaf in here.
It's a pretty good chance that's a dragon leaf.
Ah. Ah.
Perfect.
There's access to the tops.
So here's something that I didn't think about when I was doing all my wiring and everything. So this, my Haltech dash, you see the wires, that's the USB. This other wire plugs everything into the back of this. I thought that I'd be able to unplug the plug from the back of the dash in this encased dash. However, I cannot. So one thing that I would like to fix is maybe add a connector somewhere right there to make this a little bit easier. Instead of leaving our calipers connected to the car, these are going to go to powder coat and clean up all this damage there. All right, so this is probably where I'm going to lose some of y'all. When it comes to supporting the engine, this is kind of sketchy. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take these straps, I'm gonna wrap it around the strut tower bar and then around the headers. Again, It's kind of sketchy. I wouldn't suggest it for anyone who may be doing this at home. I've done this several times. I know it's gonna work, so I'm not too afraid. All right, so there it is. Let's get the rest of it out. Forgot I had to take the front bumper off. Got the coolers and stuff. They can't sit there. Here we go. We're about to load this subframe. See how it goes. And there it is. It wasn't the prettiest process. Got it done. I think last time I took the coilovers off, and I didn't remember that from last time. I got that side off, made it a little easier to come out, but yeah, so we're done with this part. Time to get the oil pan off. All right, so we're back in this thing. We gotta take these covers off. Once we get the covers off, we'll have access to the fuel tank. I have to disconnect the lines and then pull both sub-assemblies up. If y'all know anything about in-tank fuel setups, especially if it's connected, it's kind of a pain in the butt. Well, it wasn't easy, but we were able to get it out. There's the old setup. Now on to the other side. And that's the rest of the setup. 2 fuel pumps in there. All right, and there it is. The teardown is complete. Everything that I need to get taken apart is done. And that, my friends, is the end of this video. In the next video, part 2, we're gonna put all this stuff back together. I'll explain the reason I did all of this in better detail for the next time. So until then, y'all, peace out, go buy some car parts, and we'll see you later.